Moving on to felony classification of crimes. Under Florida law, what you want to remember, a good rule of thumb is that by definition, a felony is a crime that is punishable by more than a year imprisonment in the Florida state prison system. Remember when we were talking about misdemeanors, they do not exceed a year. They're served locally in the county jail. Common felonies include types of aggravated assault, aggravated battery, carjacking, homicide, kidnapping, robbery, sexual battery, stalking, certain types of aggravated stalking, theft that does not include shoplifting, which is under $300 for the item that is alleged to have been taken. But there are many more felony offenses than this under Florida law. But what we're talking about is the degree of felony, the classification, and the range. This is important when it comes to sentencing and what the maximum sentences are. Even though there's 3 degrees, third degree, second degree, and first degree felony, there's 2 additional ones that many people don't consider, and that's that of the life felony and the capital felony. A felony in the third degree, the most common type of felony that we see in Florida, involves a maximum sentence. That means that the judge can only sentence up to a maximum of 5 years, but does not have to. You still see plenty of probation sentences for people charged with third degree felonies. There's also a fine of up to $5,000 that can accompany any sentence for a third degree felony in Florida. Second degree felonies in Florida are punishable by no more than 15 years in the Florida state prison system and up to a $10,000 fine. Now remember, these can be sentenced together, being the fine and the incarceration. Second degree felonies also can command probation sentences, and it is not mandatory, absent score sheets and mandatory minimums, that a judge sentence an individual to 15 years, but rather that the judge cannot sentence someone above and beyond 15 years for a second degree felony in Florida. A felony in the first degree is punishable by no more than 30 years in the Florida state prison system and fines associated. Now, some of the less talked about classifications of felony. There's a life felony. It's obviously a version of the first degree felony, and it's punishable by just that, life imprisonment in the Florida state prison system and associated fines. Capital felonies under Florida law. These are punishable by death or life imprisonment. There's no possibility for parole. These are served in the state prison system. People serving life felonies are still required to pay restitution and fines as ordered by the court, which raises interesting questions as to whether or not that individual would be able to raise the capital to make those payments, absent working within the prison system. My name is William Moore, and this has been Felony Classifications under Florida law.